Oh, it's been a busy day, but you know what? We're going to be making some pepper steak. Got your green bell peppers, red bell peppers, onions. It's going to be delicious. Look at this. Yeah, I know I made a mound of it, but look at this. You can't go wrong with it. Enjoy. Hey, this is Shrashira. That is the best elevator music I ever heard. Alright, so I want to try something new. It's not really new, but what do you think about if I do all the prep work before I start filming and then just show you the ingredients and then start cooking immediately? That way you can get to it quick, it's right there for you, and there's no drawn out process. I'm gonna try it with this video, maybe a couple of videos, but in the comments, let me know. Let me know if you prefer it that way, or do you want to see me chop up the onions or smash the garlic, or grate the ginger, things like that. Let me know. I just want to give you the best content that I can, while at the same time try to teach you how to make these recipes of mine. So let me know. Okay, for this dish, it's real simple, even though it's going to look complicated, but trust me, it's real simple. We have about a tablespoon and a half of sugar. We have 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, red bell peppers, chopped up to about 1.5 inches in size, green bell peppers, chopped up, same size, and we have a white onion, a half of a white onion, chopped up, and you peel the layers to, so make sure they're about 1.5 inches to 2 inches in size. We got oyster sauce. I'm going to tell you something about the oyster sauce here in a minute. We're going to need some toasted sesame seeds. Of course, we're going to need some soy sauce. Okay, a little bit of black pepper. And a little chicken broth. We're also going to need some water. Just a little bit of water, and I'll explain that to you later. And I have some thinly sliced, this is a chuck, beef chuck. You can use, top sirloin. You can use any type of meat you want that you can cut thin. But make sure you cut it thin. And here I'll show you what I'm talking about when I say cut it thin. Slice it thin. And again, you want to make these thin strips. You see that? Just thin, right? And now, let me tell you a little bit about the oyster sauce. When you're making Asian cuisine, or stir fry as it were in this case, a lot of times you don't know whether to use oyster sauce or to use hoisin sauce. Well, here's a little hint for you. If you're just dealing with meat primarily, chicken, beef, even fish, lamb, whatever you're using, or duck, right? You want to lean more towards hoisin sauce, okay? If you have a lot of vegetables, like in this case, I have quite a few vegetables, you want to lean more towards the oyster sauce, okay? That's a little food for thought for you. So, less vegetables, hoisin sauce. More vegetables, oyster sauce. I hope that helps you out when you're making your cuisine. Now, on the stove right now, I have some water heating up for the vermicelli noodles. I don't know if I showed this to you when I was doing the ingredients, but yeah, we have vermicelli noodles. These are rice noodles. If I was doing an Italian dish, I would call it vermicelli noodles, but I'm not. This is Asian, so we're using vermicelli noodles. Rice vermicelli noodles. Okay, and I'll show you how to prepare that in just a minute. Okay, so for our vermicelli noodles, our rice noodles, we're going to add hot water to this, and we're going to let it sit for about 10 minutes or so. Add this hot water. let this sit and soak for about 10 minutes, and we'll check it to check for softness. Okay, so I'm checking these guys, and they still feel kind of tough. So I'm gonna have to give them like another 10 minutes. These are the thick boys. Yeah, I gotta take that into account. These aren't those thin ones. These are the big boys. So let me give them another 10 minutes. Okay, these super thick noodles, you know, I should have known. Let me check here. It's been 20 minutes. Yeah, they're a little soft, but they need to be softer. You know, for my taste, they need to be softer. And it's funny because, you know, normally I use these thick noodles in my hot pot, so I don't really worry about the time. But it looks like these guys here are going to be like 30 to 35 minute soak period. Yeah, the water's still hot, but my hands are tough. You know, from all the cooking and just grabbing hot stuff. So we're going to give this another 10 minutes, maybe another 12 minutes, and see what it does. So let's give these a check here. Yeah, so you know what? These thick boys, you know, I could have used thinner noodles, but I wanted to use these thick ones. After 30 minutes, it feels about where I want it to be. Now I'm going to put it in boiling water for about 15 minutes. I'm not going to show you that. I mean, you don't need to see noodles boil. But I'm going to boil them for about 15 minutes, and then I'm going to strain. Okay, so let's make the sauce. And what we're going to need is about 1/4 cup of the soy sauce. Right? We're going to need a little bit of pepper. And, you know, probably a teaspoon, maybe half a teaspoon of pepper. And just enough to give it a little taste of the good stuff because we have the steak. We want to add our sugar. And we want to add about 1/2 cup of the chicken broth. So let's get that in there without getting all out of control. And then we want to add a couple tablespoons of our oyster sauce. Now, if your oyster sauce has been in the refrigerator, you know, you may have to sit it out, you know, for about an hour to 1.5 hours, right? So it warms up, because when it's cold, it's real thick. Let's stir this up. Let's get this all stirred up. We want to incorporate the oyster sauce. We want to incorporate the sugar. We want the sugar to melt, not melt, dissolve. You know what I'm talking about. It's been a long day. Work with me. Okay. Move that to the side. Now remember, we have our cornstarch. Now we're going to add about 1/4 cup of water to this, and we're going to stir it up. And you always want to add cold water to your cornstarch. Never ever add hot water to your cornstarch, because it's going to start thickening up and it's not going to turn out properly. You want to have your cold water, get it nice and mixed good. Yeah, look for the little sticky parts or the sluggish parts when you're stirring it, because that's where it's caking up. So you want to make sure you pay attention to that and get it nice and mixed up. Alright, now let's go ahead and get this. Okay, our wok is hot. We're going to add a little oil to this guy. And let's go ahead and stir fry the meat. Stir fry the steak. Get it in there good. It won't take long to cook it. You just want to make sure the heat's relatively high. We're looking at medium high to high. And we'll stir fry it up. Yep, get this all nice and stir fried. You know, if you want to fry it hard, you can fry it hard. If you want to fry it soft, you can. It's up to you with the temperature of your meat. Now, because of the people I know that's going to be eating this, they want it to be fried kind of hard, so it's going to be closer to medium well. And you can see in the wok, that liquid, that's coming from the meat. That's the juices and blood that you're cooking up from the meat, and that's fine. It's going to give flavor. Okay, now at this point, I'm going to strain this meat because I don't want all this excess liquid. So I'm going to strain it. You see, I got a strainer here. Let's get this strained up. And then we're going to start the vegetables. The meat's right where I want it, but I don't want all this liquid here. I got my own sauce. Now, it's up to you. You can keep this liquid in here and add your sauce to it. Completely up to you. But for me and what I'm doing, nope, not doing it. All right, let's get this poured off. All right, get it poured off. Got my napkin here, paper towel. Suck up some of this. Now we're going to add a little more oil and we can start sauteing the vegetables. All right, let's get the vegetables in. Our onions. Green bell peppers. Red bell peppers. And you want to stir fry this for about 2 to 3 minutes. Yep, let it start to slightly caramelize. That's what you want. Alright, so let's let this go for a couple more minutes. And I'm going to constantly stir it and stir fry it. And now we're going to add our steak back to it. Okay, and now we're going to add our sauce. There's sauce in here. There we go. Yep, let this coat everything. The meat, the vegetables, make sure it coats it. That's what you want. Now what you can also do, once you coat it, once everything's coated, is shift your meat and vegetables to one side of your wok so that you have your sauce solo right here. See this? Just a sauce. And watch it. And we're going to let this come to the simmer, and then we're going to add our cornstarch mixture. And when you add the cornstarch mixture, it's going to thicken up. Now, the thing you need to know about cornstarch, when you do a cornstarch slurry, which is water in the cornstarch, when you add it to a hot liquid, once it starts boiling, that's about as thick as it's going to get. So you get a little indication on how thick your sauce is going to be by doing it that way, by adding it to a hot liquid or letting it come to a boil or a simmer. You can even do a simmer. So let me just move this over here. Make sure the flame is directly under the sauce. Okay, you see how that's that little boil there? Now let's add the slurry. Add our cornstarch here, and boom, in it goes. Mix it up. So scoop, mix, boom. Now we want to make sure everything gets coated again. So it's going to give it that nice shiny sheen on all your vegetables. See how thick that got real quick? You see that? And that's what we want. Because this is done except for one part. We got to add our noodles. And I'm doing that right now. They've been drying this whole time, so let's get them in here. And let's get them coated. There we go. Nice and coated. And now at this point, you can turn the heat off, but keep stirring, keep coating. You want to keep coating your noodles. Now at this point, we're going to add our toasted sesame seeds, sprinkle them across the top, and let's get those mixed in. Let me get my tongs, makes it a little easier. And believe it or not, we are done. Now it's time to plate up. Plate it up. Oh yeah. And all the meat, all the veggies. There we go. Now I'm gonna add my Mayak eggs. Okay, let's add our Mayak eggs to it. There we go. Add one here. Nice. One over here. And then one right here. Why not? You know what? I'm gonna move this guy. I'm gonna move it right here. And move this guy right here. There we go. Now this is gonna be delicious.